There is a moment when reality feels wrong. You hear a sentence, walk into a room, see a face, and suddenly, a chilling certainty hits you. You've been here before, not vaguely, not emotionally, exactly the same moment. The same feeling, the same impossible familiarity. And for one strange second, your mind whispers something unsettling. This already happened, but here's the disturbing part. Science says that certainty might be completely fake. And if your brain can create a false memory that feels this real, what else can it fake? Déjà vu is one of the strangest experiences humans share. Almost everyone has felt it, that eerie flash of familiarity. That impossible sense that the present is somehow repeated. People have tried to explain it for centuries. Some thought it was a message from another life, a glimpse into hidden reality, a crack in time. Because what else could explain that feeling, that absolute certainty, that deep, visceral conviction that this exact moment has happened before? But then science looked closer, and what it found was somehow darker. Because déjà vu may not be proof of anything supernatural. It may be proof that your brain can generate certainty without truth. And that changes everything. Most people think the brain records reality like a camera. The world happens. You experience it, simple, but that's not what's happening. Your brain is constantly building reality, predicting, filtering, filling gaps, constructing a version of the world fast enough to keep you alive. What you call experience is not raw reality. It's a brain-made model. Usually, that model works so well, you never notice. Until something slips, and déjà vu may be one of those slips. Researchers believe one possible cause is a tiny timing error in the brain. Information arrives through slightly different pathways. One signal processes a fraction of a second before another, and suddenly, your brain mistakes the present for a memory. Think about how disturbing that really is. Nothing magical happened. Reality did not repeat. Your brain simply created the feeling that it did. And you believed it instantly. No proof, no evidence, just certainty. That's the part almost nobody talks about. Déjà vu feels disturbing because it exposes something we don't want to admit. Feeling certain does not mean being right. And this isn't just about déjà vu. This is about your mind. Because the same brain that creates that eerie flash of false familiarity also creates your memories, your confidence, your sense of self. And suddenly the question gets darker. If your brain can fake familiarity, can it fake other things too? The answer is yes. Memory is not a perfect recording. You do not replay memories like videos. You rebuild them, every time, piece by piece, emotion by emotion. Which means memory is not storage. It's reconstruction, and reconstruction can go wrong. People have remembered things that never happened. Witnesses have testified with total certainty and been completely mistaken. False memories have been created in experiments, not because people were lying. Because their brains believed the fiction, just like déjà vu. That should make you uncomfortable. Because what feels real is not always real. But then something even stranger happened. Scientists studying epilepsy discovered that some patients experienced intense déjà vu right before seizures. Researchers could even trigger similar sensations by stimulating certain parts of the brain. Think about that. A specific neural circuit activates. And suddenly a person feels they've lived this exact moment before. No hidden timeline, no supernatural mystery. Just neurons firing in a particular pattern. And yet, the experience feels profound, meaningful, unshakably real. Why? Because consciousness doesn't care where the feeling came from. If the brain creates it, you experience it as reality, and that may be the darkest scientific truth of all. Your experience of life is not reality itself. It is your brain's interpretation of reality, a model, a simulation. A best guess, usually accurate, sometimes wrong. Déjà vu is what happens when that system briefly reveals itself. For one split second, the illusion flickers. But the real reason déjà vu feels so disturbing isn't just memory. It's time. Normally, your mind keeps things separate. Past is behind you. Present is now. Memory belongs in one place. Experience belongs in another. Deja vu breaks that boundary. Suddenly the present feels like memory. Time overlaps, reality contradicts itself. And your brain experiences a paradox. This is happening now, but it also already happened. That contradiction creates psychological tension, because humans need time to make sense. We build meaning from sequence, before, after, cause, effect. Deja vu briefly disrupts that order. Not long enough to break reality, just long enough to make you uncomfortable. And maybe that discomfort reveals something deeper. Because the scariest part is not the experience itself. It's how quickly you trust it. You don't stop and demand proof. You feel it, and you believe. Instantly. That should sound familiar. Because humans do this all the time, not just with memory. With fear, with ideas, with identity, we mistake feeling for truth. Confidence for accuracy, certainty for reality. Deja vu is disturbing because it exposes that mechanism in its rawest form. A false signal enters consciousness. And your mind wraps reality around it, without hesitation. That's not just a brain glitch, that's a mirror. And this is the part almost nobody wants to face. Maybe deja vu feels so unsettling. Because somewhere deep down, we recognize ourselves in it. We realize that certainty has always been more fragile than we pretend. That our minds are not objective observers. They are interpreters, storytellers, meaning makers, sometimes brilliant, sometimes wrong, and sometimes so convincing. We cannot tell the difference. That's why deja vu lingers after it ends. The sensation lasts seconds, but the discomfort stays. Because the moment itself isn't what haunts you, the implication does. If your brain can make the present feel like the past, how much of reality depends on signals you simply trust? How much of your identity is memory stitched into story? How much of certainty is just chemistry wearing the mask of truth? Maybe that's what deja vu really reveals. Not a secret about time. Not a glitch in the universe, a secret about you. That your experience of reality is not reality itself, it is a version of reality, assembled inside your mind. Usually flawless, sometimes wrong, always incomplete. And maybe that's why deja vu feels so deeply unsettling. Because for one eerie second, you catch your mind in the act. And the next time that impossible familiarity hits, that strange feeling that this moment has already happened, you may not just wonder why. You may wonder something much worse, if your brain can create a memory that never existed. What else inside you feels real, but isn't?